Hey, this is Kat. I'm with Chef Richard Petty, and he's got a new book. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it? Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Chef Richard Petty. I'm the author of Beyond Soul Food, Modern American Heritage Cuisine.
Oh, sorry. It's got a light. The light's hitting it. Yeah, I have to tilt this way. And one of the reasons why I wanted to share Richard with you, wonderful people who watch Kattalestv, is because he's got his book on what you call that Kindle. You have to be, you have to keep it. There's a light hitting it, so it's got a. It's not really clear. But long story short, if you are cooking now, instead of putting stuff, a book like a hardcover book, can you turn the page and show them? When you're doing a recipe, all you have to do, you have it on your Kindle. You're able to see the food and a menu, please. It needs to be a menu.
Table of contents.
Right.
So you can just maybe tap on, let's go back. You could just tap on the table of contents and it'll take you where you want to go. Say like this one.
Lobsters? Oh yeah.
Court bouillon.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can see this. There's a reflection on there. But so long story short, let's say you're cooking, you're able to just have your Kindle on, what do you call that, the stand? And you're able to see stuff and then turn the page like that. You know what I mean? So I just thought that was cool because, you know, I'm old school. When I use books. Everyone's at different, you know, stages in the technology situation. But the other gift that Richard has is that he's very hip on the hospitality culture. And for foodies like me and other people, we've noticed there's a difference in service around the world. Richard is working in Tokyo, correct?
Yes.
You want to say hi to your Tokyo fans?
Konnichiwa.
Yeah, and he's bringing, along with other people, more soul food to Tokyo, Japan, Taipei. Where else are you working at?
Taipei and Tokyo.
Yeah. So a lot of times other cultures are more open-minded and accepting of our culture in their country, more so than they are in America. So let's talk about that.
Matter of fact, when I moved to Japan about a year and a half ago,
You want to talk about why?
Well, we'll get into it.
Okay.
We'll get into it. Basically, I spent 28 years in the food service industry as a top-ranked chef here in Beverly Hills. Ran restaurant, Wolfgang Puck Cafe, so on and so forth. But over the years, I realized that there's something missing here in Los Angeles, okay? When you travel around, but say, for instance, San Francisco, the level of service is much higher than what is here.
Right.
And this was part of my frustration as a professional, and this is what led me to look elsewhere outside of the country, actually. So I took a visit to Japan, and when I got there, I found that the level of service and the quality of food and the acceptance of all cultures was very surprising to me. And I actually fell in love with that and decided to stay.
Right. That's another thing is like everyone knows I work predominantly in Beverly Hills, and I'm hip to most of the restaurants. I have friends that own Sweet Beverly, The Palm, El Pistayo, Villa Laura, and other places, but Bouchon is closing in a couple of weeks. It's now December if you guys are watching this video, 2017. What day is today? The 12th?
Today is the 12th.
Right, so Bouchon's closing, I think, around December 28th. One of the things about Bouchon, across from a world-class hotel called the Montage, is that it's closing, and there's multiple reasons why it's closing, but I've eaten there. I thought the service was very poor, very slow, a lot of attitude with the waiters, and the food was overpriced. Okay location, but to be in that area, that's one thing about Beverly Hills. I think every business in Beverly Hills should be at a higher standard. It's not just a reality show. It's that it's a brand. Beverly Hills is a brand, just like Paris is a brand, Tokyo is a brand, New York's a brand, San Francisco is a brand. So you have to raise your game if you're going to play in that field. And it's ironic and unbelievable that a chef of the caliber of Thomas Keller, who owns
French Laundry in Yorksville,
right.
California. James Beard Award-winning chef 2 times over.
Right, would have a business like that close so soon.
Well, when we were talking earlier, I don't really blame it so much on the facility or the chef so much. It's just that Los Angeles area, the greater Los Angeles area that includes Beverly Hills, really isn't a world-class food destination, such as Tokyo, Paris, some areas of France. So the attitudes are different. We're in Hollywood.
Right.
So every other server is really in the film industry.
Right.
And they look at being a service person as a demeaning job just to get me by while I work on a script, I practice my dance, or so on and so forth. So therefore, I found, and I've worked in some of the best restaurants in LA, I found that the attitude is such, this is not my profession. Right. This is just something to pay my rent while I go to a cast call or while I work on a script or writer or whatever you're doing in the film industry. Right. And I used to tell my servers, that's fine, that's okay. I don't want to knock down anyone's aspirations to be who they are, what they want to do in their life. But you have 2 professions. You have your actor and your professional server. Right. Maitre d'. So when you come into the restaurant, you have to leave the ladder at the door. Right. Now you're a professional waiter. Right. And take that to the same level that you would your actor. Right. And then, like I always compare things to martial arts. Even when you're doing laundry or you're waiting a table, you should do stuff with honor. And you should do it to the best of your ability. And can you briefly just like name some points about service? You know what I mean? Just some quick ones. Yeah, very quick. First of all, service is an art form. Right. Culinary arts. Right. Is an art form. Right. And culinary arts includes service. When you go to a top school, the Cordon Bleu or the CIA, they split the class in half. One half of the class is in the kitchen, the other half of the class is in the dining room, because it's all inclusive and supportive of each other. Right. Okay. If you can't have one without the other. Right. In order to have the perfect experience. Right. And what we notice is that there's a lot of attitude and there's not much service. And let's talk about one of the things that we talked about a couple days ago about the being a good waiter is also about being very observant, knowing when to go to the table, when not to. Mm-hmm. And what did you say about the eyes? Yeah, you always want to keep eye contact. So say the host of the table or any guest, when they need something, they're going to use their eyes first. Right. Okay. And then at that point, that's when you need to be attentive. Right. Okay, when you see them look down and look up, okay, that's when you need, they're missing something. Right. They want something. Right. Don't wait until they're bobbing their head. Or waving their hands. And then when they wave their hand, it's really too late. Right. You kill the experience once they wave their hand. Another thing we notice is that if you do your job well and you take it seriously for those moments and those hours that you're working, the tips are gonna come. Let's talk about that a little bit. You mentioned that. I always tell my service staff, don't worry about your tips on a daily basis. Worry about giving 10 steps, the 10 steps of service. Okay? Not being over attentive, because that can get on the guest's nerve too. Right. But knowing just when, and don't be pretentious about the way you serve, because it could come off like you're hustling the guests. Right. Okay? So just be natural, give the 10 points of service, and always treat the guests as royalty.
Right.
At the end of the day, at the end of the year, when you're doing your taxes, you will see your tip average increase.
Right. Right. Excuse me, anyway.
And you never know where the big tip is going to come from.
That is
Don't
true.
worry about it.
Right.
I remember a maitre hotel. His name was Maurice. He's no longer with us. But every day, he was a master maitre hotel. Master. Always attentive to the guests' needs, just perfect service, consistent. Because restaurant industry is a business of consistency. Okay, so every day, consistent. And one day, someone drove a Rolls Royce to the restaurant and had a big red bow on it.
Right.
He thought it was for someone's birthday party,
Right.
a wedding anniversary.
Right.
Come to find out, it was a gift
Wow.
from a guest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Okay. So you never know. You just be consistent every day.
Right.
And get the best service. Treat each guest the way you would treat them when you invite someone to your home. When you invite someone to your home, how are you going to treat them?
Right.
That's the key to success in the services.
Another restaurant that I mentioned and we slightly talked about was, I never say it right, Waldorf, how do you say it?
The Waldorf Astoria.
Waldorf
Waldorf Astoria.
Astoria. I have trouble with W's. I thought location-wise, scenic route on the upstairs dining experience is very beautiful, but the service was poor. And the dessert menu was minimal and not impressive. And to be in such an expensive, luxurious looking place, I was really disappointed. And a lot of people that I know that go out to dinner every night that are multimillionaires, they said they weren't going back. Talk about briefly what you said in regards to having a soft opening.
Let's do primarily a soft opening. Take your time. Even though you've made this great investment, an enormous investment, these restaurants cost money, big investment, but you still need to walk it in slowly so that the kitchen staff works out their kinks, the service staff work out its kinks. The menu may need to change a little bit or be tweaked out a little bit before you really open the restaurant up. No press, just maybe people that you invite, slowly build it up over the first 90 days until you got it nailed to the floor.
Right.
And then you can say, okay, you can do a press release, get the press in, but still try not to go with any reviews for the first 6 months either, okay? Because if you premature with your reviews on any restaurant, on any level, that could come back to bite you.
Yeah, I heard that Saget decided not to rate them and give them more time because the service was poor.
Yeah.
And that's pretty...
And that's a benefit to the facility, actually.
They're lucky.
Because Saget wants to give them a great review.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about John Georges, one of the top chefs in the entire world, okay? So, of course, Saget doesn't want to give such a great chef a negative review.
But they wouldn't do that for everyone. They would. Well, I mean, saying, like, in other words, a regular place, like not somebody is famous, they're not going to do that favor. You understand?
It depends. It depends. Saget, usually your first review, if you're not ready, LA Times or Saget, they're going to give you more time.
Right.
You know, that's
a courtesy.
A courtesy kind of thing.
Right.
But when they come and it still ain't fixed, then they're going to write it.
Good, they should. But the other thing is, to me, if you have a restaurant and the only thing people are talking about is the view, there's something wrong. The view shouldn't outdo the food experience or the service experience. You know what I'm saying? So just to wrap it up, I appreciate you sharing your knowledge. He knows, this is a brilliant man who knows about starting a business, about looking for properties to improve on a restaurant, and making it work better from the ground up. So what other tips would you like to say to entrepreneurs, just, to give them a quick tip, whether in the restaurant business or not?
Never give up on your dreams. Even if you have to leave the country.
Say that again, because I cried over what you said. What?
Never give up on your dream, even if you have to leave the country.
True. Because
sometimes God puts us on a journey that is unpredictable to us in the human form. He already knows. So don't try to get in front of him. Let him lead it. If he say it's over there, then have the courage to go over there.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Richard. Very good tips and very great knowledge. And check out your book again. What's it called again?
Beyond Soul Food, Modern American Heritage Cuisine, on Kindle, iBooks, and Barnes & Nobles.
And where can they find you on? Are you on social media?
Chef Richard Petty at Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you again. This is Kat from Kattalestv signing off. How do you say dom regato?
No, we say Johnny.
Johnny.
Goodbye.
But I said thank you, didn't I?
Oh, thank you. It's arigato.
Arigato. But doma. Did I not do it right?
You did good.
Thanks. How do you say the other thing again?
Arigato.
No.
Gozaimasu.
Arigato.
Thank you very much.
Arigato.
Gozaimasu.
Dosaimasu.
Gozaimasu.
Dasaimasu.
Hi.
Hi. And then the bye-bye.
Johnny.
Johnny. Sugoi.
Fantastic.